By April 8, the most advanced German units had arrived at Derna, but some units which had cut across the chord of the Jebel Akhdar ran out of water and fuel at Tengader. Heinrich von Prickwitz's UND Gaffrin, the commander of the 15th Panzer Division, was sent ahead with a column of reconnaissance, anti-tank, machine gun, and artillery units to block the eastern exit from Tobruk as the 5th Light Division moved from the southwest and the 27th Infantry Division, Brescia, advanced from the west. On April 10, Rommel made the Suez Canal the objective of the Afrikakorps and ordered that a breakout from Tobruk be prevented. The next day, the port was invested, but the rush ended with the 5th Light Division on the east side, the Prickwitz Group to the south, and the 27th Infantry Division, Brescia, to the west. Reconnaissance Unit 3 went on to Bardia, and a composite force was sent on to Solun to try to reach Mersin-Matruh. From 11 to 12 April, the 5th Panzer Regiment probed the defenses of the 20th Australian Brigade near the El Adem Road. The tanks were held off by artillery fire. German infantry who reached the anti-tank ditch were forced back by Australian infantry. The Germans were surprised, having assumed that the shipping at Tobruk was to evacuate the garrison and planned a night attack by the 5th Light Division for April 13th and 14th. Groups of Axis vehicles were attacked by 45 and 55 Squadrons RAF. Which rearmed at the airfields inside the perimeter. The attack began after dark, with an attempt to get over the anti-tank ditch west of the El Adem Road in the 17th Australian Battalion sector, which the Australians repulsed. Another attempt was made later, and by dawn a small bridgehead had been established. Where the 5th Panzer Regiment drove through and turned northwards, ready to divide into one column for the harbor and one to move west to stop the escape of the garrison. The German tanks were engaged head-on by the 1st RHA and veered away, only to drive into the path of the British cruiser tanks, waiting hull down, and received anti-tank fire from 3 sides, losing 16 of 38 tanks and retreated. The Australian infantry had stood their ground and pinned down the German infantry. As the retreat continued, every gun and aircraft at Tobruk fired into the area. And the German 8th Machine Gun Battalion lost about 75% of its men, including its commander Gustav Poneth. For a garrison loss of 26 men killed, 64 wounded, 2 tanks and a field gun knocked out. Attacks from the south were abandoned and the 5th Light Division dug in, with the Schwerin Group to the east. In support, the Luftwaffe and Regia Aeronautica flew 959 sorties over Tobruk. On April 14th, 40 Ju-87s bombed the defenses. On day 27, the anti-aircraft battery at Tobruk by swamping the defenses with 50 aircraft, allowing for an entire staffel. On April 16, Rommel led an attack from the west, with the 132nd Armored Division, RE8, reinforced by the 62nd Infantry Regiment of the 102nd Motorized Division, Trento. The 48th Australian Battalion counterattacked and took 803 prisoners. In the morning, the 132nd Armoured Division, RE8, attacked again, and some tanks reached the most advanced Australian posts. Found that their infantry had not followed and retired after 5 tanks were knocked out. Morshead ordered the garrison to exploit Axis disorganization and their inability to quickly dig in on stony ground, through conducting patrols and small sorties. On April 22nd, a company of the 48th Australian Battalion, three infantry tanks and a troop of 25-pounders, raided a hillock held by the Fabris detachment southwest of Ras El Medar. The raiders destroyed 2 guns and took 370 prisoners. At the same time, a company of the 23rd Battalion advanced across the Derna Road and in a costly attack, took about 100 prisoners. The defeat of the Axis attacks in April greatly improved the situation in Tobruk, but Fliegerkorps 10 had sent 150 to 200 aircraft to Libya from Sicily in February, which flew frequent dive bomber sorties by day and medium bomber raids by day and night on the docks, buildings, anti-aircraft sites, artillery positions and the airfields. Westland Lysander aircraft and all but the most essential ground crew of 6 and 73 Squadron were withdrawn to Egypt. After another 2 days, 73 Squadron was down to 5 operational aircraft with very tired pilots. By April 23rd, 3 more Hurricanes had been shot down, a further 2 were damaged, and on April 25th the squadron was withdrawn. The fighters of 274 Squadron stayed at Geralle and 6 Squadron remained at Tobruk to fly tactical reconnaissance sorties. After the failure to capture Tobruk off the march, Commando Supremo and the Oberkommando der Wehrmacht agreed that Tobruk should be captured and supplies accumulated before the advance into Egypt was resumed. Rommel thought that Tobruk could only be taken by a deliberate attack, which could not begin until support units had arrived in the area and the Luftwaffe had been reinforced, particularly with transport aircraft to carry ammunition, fuel and water. On April 27, Major General Friedrich Paulus, a deputy chief of the General Staff, arrived from Oberkommando de Heers in Berlin to question Rommel on his intentions, impress on him that there was little more help available and to forecast the defensive possibilities of the area if Sollum was lost. Paulus refused to allow an attack planned for April 30th until he had studied the situation and on April 29th allowed the attack to go ahead, as did General Italo Garibaldi, who had arrived on April 28th. Nothing more ambitious than securing the Axis hold on the Egyptian frontier, from Siwa Oasis north to Sollum, was envisaged. The Tobruk garrison continued work on the defenses and sowed minefields, the first being planted in the southwest, between the outer and inner perimeters.